You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what the Chris Spangle Show is about. Get it at wearelibertarians.com or on iTunes. Welcome to a very special episode of We Are Libertarians. It's, I don't know that we're going to call this We Are Libertarians. I think we may call it one-on-one. We Are Libertarians one-on-one.
Sounds a little homoerotic, but I can handle it.
The Chris and Greg Show.
Yeah.
Just two dudes.
Weekend update for libertarians.
Two dudes, one mic.
Two dudes, one mic. I like that.
Yeah. We are starting to take this seriously.
Much to the chagrin of everybody that listens.
It's been 4 years, and we've never really taken it seriously. We just do it for fun, but we feel like responsible.
We've hit puberty. It's time to take this seriously as grown-ups and gentlemen.
We are one Facebook like away from 15,000. Two dudes, one mic. Lindsay's watching. Hello. We look great. I'm just checking us out on the We Are Libertarians. So if you're on the We Are Libertarians Facebook page, we now like to live stream this, so that way you can see the magic. You can see Mittens walking across the table as we speak.
She's kind of the worst.
I'm kind of tired of having cats.
I know. I was shocked to hear you admit that you were, basically you admitted you were over pussy.
Okay, that's a little unnecessary. No, I'm not. Look at this drawing that I drew on Saturday. Maya wanted a tattoo, so I started out with this. That is an elephant with large eyes.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's spraying itself.
Is it spraying itself?
Yep.
Is that what it is? How wonderful.
And then
cleanliness is next to godliness.
Then I drew this. Drew this.
It looks like a angry beaver.
No, it's a fat man in a red coat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a fat man in a red coat.
Understand.
See, if you're watching the We Are Libertarians live stream on our Facebook Live, you could have seen those drawings, but you can go back and archive it. That's just one of the many improvements that we are making here at We Are Libertarians.
The Southern Command.
Rapidly.
It is.
So
I do not recognize this place any longer.
It is getting a little out of control. You can't see there's a professional light on us, and
it used to be a poon palace, is what I believe we referred to it as, and now it's become a it is a regular bona fide studio.
I had a girlfriend for 9 months, and she was okay with whatever I did. The nerdier, the better.
I know.
The better it was.
And then you got a compressor.
And then I got a compressor, and then that depressed her. And she had to leave. And so now that I'm on my own, all alone out there on my own, I'm just gone full nerd. Listen, ladies, you're going to have to love me with the size of my board and my compressor.
I have a very large board.
Unlike that Rob Kendall. Very small board.
Small board.
Tiny.
Small hands?
We'll get to the big announcements in a moment. You have been cheating on me.
Have I been cheating on you?
You revealed today that like a month ago you bought podcast equipment.
I did.
And you didn't consult me? You didn't ask me anything?
Well, I've had it in the hopper forever to do Liberty and Libations, and it was a period of fits and starts that were not doing well, and then I went ahead and made the plunge, and then I call it our mobile unit or whatever.
Your mobile unit.
Mobile unit for two guys, one mic.
Have you ever been to Two Guys, One Fish?
Never.
Okay.
Should I?
Yeah, go right there after you go to meatspend.com.
I'm not going to do what you did to Vibert.
I'm just saying, cakefarts.com.
Oh,
it's
Cake Farts. Is it like a lemon party?
It's a little bit more like meatloaf farts.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Outstanding.
Yeah. So... Yeah, my favorite thing in the world, we were just talking, you're like, golf is an expensive hobby, but you picked a worst one. Because
you did.
It's true. Like, do you have any idea how much cords cost?
Oh, my God. Like, basically, my entire set of clubs, my backup sets, all my putters, and probably 3 or 4 rounds per month could fit into just your top drawer over there.
I know. I have a whole bunch of cords. I'm sorry.
You have a lot of black cords.
Now, see, why do you have to be racist? Like just these little headphones. Rob Nunya, he donated some. Ryan Ripley, Maya,
and the mic stand today,
$15 a pop. Mic stand. I think that was Sue that donated that.
Yeah.
our Amazon wish list. We've got a lot of people helping offset the cost as we grow. You know, you got the computer that was donated. We're gonna we got a compressor thanks to Jason Doolittle,
who just donated another 100.
Yeah, so
I mean, he is funding the Spangle hobby.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about growth. And for a long time, we've been showers and not growers. And so
appearances can be deceiving, if you will. Okay.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to capitalize on 2016. We know, as well as you know, that we are your favorite libertarian podcast. Everybody likes Lava Flow. Everybody likes Jason Stapleton. Everybody likes Lions of Liberty. Everybody loves Tom Woods. But we're number one in your hearts. You know it, I know it. Greg knows it. Mittens knows it.
People tell us this all the time.
I know. They just say, I've never heard a podcast like this. How did your podcast get so good?
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
You built this podcast and you made Tom Woods pay for it.
I wish that were true. He's got that Ron Paul money.
I know.
I wish I had Ron Paul money.
The octopi.
Yeah. So we 2016 is an important election cycle. I don't know if you've heard, but there's two real bags of shit running for president. And we are trying our best to capitalize. We are trying to
seize the shit, if you will.
Take advantage of the shitstorm that is the 2016 election cycle. Because if you listen to this program, we've done this for 4 years, and we have grown a ton as libertarians. You started as a scumbag Republican.
I was always a libertarian, but I somehow justified the Romney W. Bush libertarian streak.
Right. Yes. You,
Mr. I raised funds for the soldiers, support the troops.
Big Bill Weld fan.
Yeah.
Much to Roger's chagrin.
I'm a Welditarian.
All right. Now, you know, we have grown, and so many of you have written into We Are Libertarians at editor@wearelibertarians.com and dropped us notes, or on our Facebook page, which I want to apologize if you've written to our Facebook page. I just discovered there was an inbox there, so I just responded to messages from like 4 or 5 years ago. But I'm gonna do better and check that every day and make sure that if you write us questions to answer, that they get on the air. Just trying to do better, you know?
Like the listeners.
Right. I have always liked the listeners.
Have you?
I have. Josiah Crohn's I fucking hate.
The Crohn's disease.
Right.
Which they say you can get over, and apparently we have.
Has he contacted you?
No, ever since he sent me something, which to my house, I got it, and it was, I forget what it was, but it was a little toy at Christmas, and then
really
I didn't hear from him since.
That's really weird.
I know. He actually dropped it off because he was driving from Virginia back to Idaho,
and he didn't stop by and say hi.
I wasn't there.
All right, well, thank God you're alive.
Yeah.
You know, we just as 2016 has progressed, you know, let's get serious, listeners. I went through a divorce in 2014, and it was very, very difficult. And I talk about it a lot here and on the Chris Spangle Show and other podcasts that I do. The Chris Spangle Show, which, by the way, launched this week,
yes,
which is another one of the things that we're going to talk about.
With the very wonderful Christy Avery.
Yes, she was on it. Wall super fan. And so those 2 years, anytime you go through a traumatic event like a divorce, you're paralyzed with sadness, depression, and you're just trying to get your life together. And you know, the listeners were forgiving of our spottiness, but you know, in 2016, I just looked at the fellas and I said, "Listen, I feel good. I'm committed to this. I'm excited about what this year will bring. I want to make sure that we have an episode out every week. I think we may have only missed 1 week in 2016." And, you know, we started asking donations because as 2016 progressed, this got more expensive to do. You know, like just, you know, one of these little cords. You get one of these little cords, you know, this right here, just this little tiny 4-foot cord costs $16.
Yeah.
So, you know, as we go through this, the amount of people hitting our servers costs more money. The amount of equipment that it takes to run this costs more money. We want to do a live streaming radio station. We want to do phone calls. We want to do...
We think.
No, maybe. Trust me, I've taken live phone calls. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
No, I remember we did one. We got a lot of Ripley.
Yeah, just nothing but Ripley.
And there's nothing listeners would want to hear less than more Ripley.
Oh, I love you, Ryan.
I know. He's a great guy. Totally kidding.
Listen, in We Are Libertarians land, so it just cost a lot to do this, and it's just one of those things where it's like, listen, I'm a single guy that lives in a luxury apartment, and I have a good job, but I got to pay bills. Greg's got to pay bills.
Can't just live on making memes.
Right. And, I really think we're at a point in this where I got in February-ish, I just got to a point where I had talked to so many of you and just got the feeling that if we went away, people would miss it. And so I kind of got over the fear of asking for money, and boy, does everybody hate that. But the reason that
libertarians hate money.
Yeah. The reason that we ask for donations now, and the reason that we ask you to hit our Amazon wish list are not... Mittens, come on. The reason that we do that is not because Mittens wants more cat food. It's not that we spend the money on my luxury apartment. It's not that we are getting rich off of this by any means. It's that we take everything that you donate and we put it back into it. Our Facebook page this year has probably grown by what? 4,000 or 5,000 people?
At least, yeah. I mean,
and it's
we're
6 months in.
On 15,000.
15,000. We're probably just hitting it about now. That's added 500-600 new subscribers.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of great feedback from a lot of you, and we want, if you love this podcast like we love this podcast, then you want more people to know about it because it's helped you grow as a libertarian. It's helped inform you. It entertains you. It is something that hopefully when it hits your feed, you're excited.
A brief escape from the drudgery of day-to-day life.
Right. You get to tune in on Facebook and see my cat show its asshole. This is a sign of affection, okay? Mittens,
she loves the listeners.
Mittens loves the listeners so much. She's just showing you her asshole. We had Christy on the Chris Spangle show talking about Superfan, and I'm a We Are Libertarian Superfan, and you know what? Come on. She's really excited. So I honestly, there's so much cat hair everywhere, and I've got like a HEPA filter trying to filter out the air, and it's not working, and there's cat hair everywhere. Could you please stop shedding? I love you. I'm sorry, baby. I'll never do it again. The last Mittens, can we talk? Seriously. I know. I love you too, baby.
Your shirt was so clean when you walked in.
No, I'm trying to do a podcast for the people.
Now it's a quilt.
Oh, she's kissing me. I can't. We got to take a break. Okay, we're back. I just had to pet my kitty. Real talk. Why are you chewing on my ruler now? Get out of here. Go. This podcast and the friendships that I've made through it saved my life the last 2 years. We didn't keep doing the podcast because a lot of times over the last couple of years, I was in so much a more emotional state that it was we did it because, man, I don't want this to die. I like doing this, but this is a chore. I just can't really. I can't do it this week. And so there was a period of time, through 2014 where, Greg and Joe and Maya and everybody kind of carried the banner for me. And 2015, we were very spotty because I was trying to figure out how to live life. And this podcast and the people that have brought, Greg and I met one time at a Borders, probably 2010, and hey, how are you doing? I remember you. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize...
Do you like memes?
Memes didn't even exist.
No.
And, I didn't... when I invited Greg on somewhere around episode, I think it was like 27, I didn't know he would become my best friend. Joe would become my best friend. I'd be, Aaron, Harry, Chloe, Brett Bittner.
What was that?
I'll admit it. Brett Bittner and all the people that you hear on this podcast that are regulars, they would become a great tight circle of friends that have carried me through very difficult times. And you know, I not only do I think part of the reason that this works is that we genuinely enjoy getting together and talking. And that comes through for the listener, as so many of you have told us. And it is a brand of radio that is so hard to replicate, the chemistry that we've built. And it is something that I think is truly special. And I know that we're tooting our own horns here, but this is basically to tell you a little bit about the future of We Are Libertarians. So many of you over the last 6 months, as we have started to take this more seriously and start to explain to you the needs that we have to build out this platform, saying the more that you contribute, the more that we can do. And I think that we have upheld our end of the bargain, and so have you.
Above and beyond, really.
Above and beyond, yeah, absolutely. Our equipment is, we're halfway through the first stage of really kind of building out what we need to make this be successful. You guys have funded the hosting for the rest of the year. Do you guys have it? I mean, it's really hard for me to explain without going into detail about my personal financial situation, which anybody who knows who's gone through a divorce is never good. It gets really tight and it's really difficult. To not have to worry about my hosting payment for the rest of, for the next 10 months is such a blessing that means so much to me, because so many of you stepped up and donated. You came out to the live shows. You joined us on Patreon. And when we ask you that stuff, it's not making us rich. I now can take that, because we were able to buy in a yearly package. It saved us money that we were then able to put into Facebook ads, which then grew our listenership, which then grows the community that we're all kind of building around this podcast. Because it's not just about the direct individuals, the 20 people that donate their time to We Are Libertarians to be a part of this, or me or Greg. It's really about the friendships that we're creating in the Facebook group, which you can join on the front page of the website.
The wall pack, if you will.
Right. Like getting to know Christy Avery a little bit better this past weekend. It's just been great. The live shows that we do, the people that come out, it has been fantastic to get to know you better these last 6 months. And you guys have rewarded our... it's very difficult to create something, put it out into the world, and say, give me money and shit for it. Like, it's very uncomfortable for me. I don't like doing it, but I know I have to, or else this isn't going to grow. And it's almost a matter of the show's survival at this point. Like, we can keep it small, and we can just kind of keep it, but I think everybody watching, everybody listening that is a fan of this show, that is involved, knows that we've got something special here, and that we can take this to the next level should we choose. And
we've chosen. That's what today's kind of about.
Yeah. So now that we've kind of talked about where we've been over the last 4 months, we're going to talk a little bit about where we're going. You see that it's just Greg and I here at the table. So let's kind of talk about what's already out there now. We brought Creating Maya back. Against the advice of Greg and Joe and everybody else.
I wasn't against it. I always thought it was a compelling show, as I feared for your personal safety, based on personal experiences watching your personal safety be compromised.
Right. Ran into Maya, and we just said, we got to do that again.
It's a captivating show. It's compelling. It's as raw and heartfelt as you can do. It's just wonderful content.
We've created Raw Audio Politics, where you can hear raw audio. Basically, I go to YouTube and I find interviews, speeches, debates, things that I think are in the public interest that people ought to know, and put into the podcast form. I'm an audible learner. I'm not a person that will sit down and watch a 3-hour debate. I want to listen to it while I'm driving, and I think a lot of you are like that as well. And then likewise, its sister podcast, the Gary Johnson for President podcast, is purely promotional. It's a service of We Are Libertarians. It's not just to promote us, but it is to put into podcast form Gary Johnson and Bill Well's words. So there's equal time, and you can hear exactly what they're saying on a lot of these interview shows, on Colbert, on some of these other places. And it's you know, and it helps people find it. We Are Libertarians. You know, it's got 500 subscribers.
Yeah,
and that it had like 80 a month ago.
I know.
So people are hitting iTunes and going and searching for Gary's name, and we're providing that service so people have something there. You know,
it's you have enough stress in this world where active discovery or active listening or going people just are desperate for a more passive informational experience, and that's what's limited libertarians a lot is we don't get on the active channels. We don't get the interview one-on-one with Brett Baer on Fox News. We don't get the Sunday show with Chuck Todd until recently.
Right.
And so this makes puts Gary on a discoverable medium where it's more passive and people can do it as an enjoyable experience where they don't have to, constantly commit bandwidth to it.
It's something that I did in 2012, and the 2012 podcasts are still in there. His acceptance speech at the 2012 debate, some of his speeches from all the way back to, I think, 2008 even. And our YouTube channel, we've got a Gary Johnson for President playlist, which you can go back and watch some of his 1998, 1994 gubernatorial debates in that playlist that we've collected. So we're just trying to give you the tools, and if you go to our website and you just search who is Gary Johnson, or I think it's wearelibertarians.com/Gary Johnson, you'll find a page that you can just share with your friends to promote Gary Johnson. There's the Path to Libertarianism, which is something I spent a year working on. I was charged at the Advocates as the marketing director to take Hitler to a libertarian in 2 minutes, and I got it down to about 30. And
that was, though, before Hitler was trendy like he is now. He's had quite the comeback in those 2 years.
And
so you successfully helped in rebranding Hitler.
You're welcome. And little Brett Bittner killed that off. And so I took it back and liberated it and put it on wearelibertarians.com. And it's just a very basic explanation of 3 foundational principles of liberty for your friends. There's a guide to the libertarian movement. There's training resources. There's polling. There's all kinds of stuff at wearelibertarians.com that I've added over the last 6 months. The resources, training. Then we've also finally started the Chris Spangle show, and really, Mittens, she's really going to town today. She missed me, apparently.
You've neglected your pussy.
Thank you. Very mature. Very, very mature.
Childish.
And the live shows. We started doing, we've done 2 live shows. We've got a 3rd one next week, and then every month we're doing a live show at a comedy club. We're going to try and do live memes next week. So
I think this could be a colossal failure.
I just don't, so those are the things that we've kind of added to the repertoire, and the Chris Spangle show, which, I love talking about libertarianism, but I have a ton of different interests and a ton of different people that I want to talk to that don't quite fit into this podcast. And that's where they will go. And a lot of you have responded well to it. I thank you, except for Marcus. Marcus, you can go kill yourself in a fire. He said it was the most boring thing he'd ever heard. I'm not taking it personally, although I have sent him a glitter bomb to his house downtown in Indianapolis at approximately 486. No, I'm just kidding. Like guys like Jeff Vibert, our buddy Matt and Tiny at the Obsessive Viewer podcast, people that we are associated with that we think are funny and interesting and fit into the We Are Libertarians brand of comedy and talk.
Yeah.
They need a place, and that will be the Chris Spangle show, so please get that feed. And so then we're also launching a few new shows. And first we'll start with you.
Yeah.
You're going to start your own interview show.
Yeah, I'm going to interview mainly experts on topics. It's going to be more policy focused. I'm a big fan of Tom Woods and like the Tom Woods model, but I also think I've always, if you've listened to the show, the one thing I've always felt I could contribute to the libertarian sphere is adding to policy debates, adding to our message of, filling out what we'll actually do, how we'll do it, what it would look like.
Right.
And that's what I want to do with experts in various fields and have them on and talk to people like Dr. Mark Thornton, like we've done in the past. And I'll be talking to Dr. Larry Reed at the Foundation for Economic Education. people like Jeffrey Tucker, and see if we can't make some inroads on actually having legislation for our candidates to attach themselves to when they run. Because I think that's one of the big things we run into when we message is, listen, we're against that. These people are stupid, but we don't provide that next, I guess you could say, conceptual idea of what our version looks like.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be necessary as we grow, and I think it's going to be now's the time because of the situation of the political, the two parties electing who they have, and then Gary picking someone like Weld.
Yeah.
And Weld is somebody who is...
Mittens just knocked over. Mittens has now... And I'm starting to wonder if maybe she works for the Tom Woods Show or something.
I think she does.
She's trying to sabotage us.
Right, or she doesn't like Weld.
Tell me if you've talked to Stapleton. Tell me now. Yeah, so the thing about our dynamic is that I love politics, and I love building this platform, and I love new media and podcasting, and I put 20 hours a week into building the platform so Greg can come and sit and talk for 3
Give my opinions.
Right, yeah. And it's not that I don't have opinions. It's just that mine are more political in nature. I'd rather talk about Gary Johnson's performance as a candidate than, Rothbard's opinion on ending monetary policy. And I just don't, that's not my wheelhouse, and that is Greg's wheelhouse. And, as we go through this political season, we don't want to neglect that end. We want to make sure that we are giving people foundational principles of libertarianism, and not just current events, politics, and the talk that we've been doing these last few months.
And so, like, when they talk to their friends and family, when they ask, well, if you're not going to have the Fed, what are you going to have?
Right.
So we can talk about those things, and you'll have the information to be able to go out and say, well, here's an alternative. It could be something as simple as like what Milton Friedman suggested, where you just have a guaranteed 2% annual inflation rate, and it doesn't go up, doesn't go down. It just stays like that, and it's basically automated. Every year, the money supply increases 2%. Now, that wouldn't be libertarian, but that's a possible solution we could promote, and it would sound reasonable rather than leaving it up to a person, a politically appointed person, and bring people to the libertarian side.
Yeah. So, because what we try to do at We Are Libertarians, what so much of libertarian media is suit and tie professors, and they don't put it in the language that everybody speaks, and so what we want to do is really kind of bring it to the common person. So you can give this podcast to your friends and family. I'm trying to clean up my language. I'm trying to do better on that respect.
It's a matter of being triggered.
One guy, when we started allowing cussing, like 100 episodes ago, I can't play it loudly at work anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't have in the first place. Like,
you haven't met my Aunt Donna, okay? Or the associate pastor.
So that is upcoming. We're also going, we do very long episodes, and we're going to start breaking those up. We're going to record and kind of batch those long episodes into 2 different episodes a week. And the reason we do that is because you, dear listener, you love those long episodes, but, in talking to a few people, we feel like that might be a barrier to new listeners. That they look at that and they go, man, I just don't want to commit 2 or 3 hours to a podcast. And so we don't want to do anything that is going to turn anybody off and not even give us a chance just because of the time link. So you're not going to get less of the podcast. You're actually going to get more. It's going to be kind of the same thing. We're also adding some formatting. We're adding, thanks to... my brother just texted me and asked if he wants me to be my co-host on the Chris Spangle Show. No, he weaseled his way into best man at my wedding. Look how that turned out.
Everything you're involved in is a failure.
Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of break it up, and we've added things to Aaron Ewert. He made a donation the last episode that we went and we bought some production music, and you heard that at the beginning, some network IDs, some liners, some bumpers, some various production elements that kind of make us sound a little more professional. So look for the episodes to be the same, but just different a little bit. That brings us to what we're doing here on a Monday night. Normally we release the episodes on a Friday, and it is a Monday night, and we're here recording. And that's because that's what we're going to be doing from here on out. Greg and I are going to get together 2 nights of the week, and we're going to record the regular episode with the round table of friends that we normally have. But then on Monday nights, we're going to do a little news roundup, answer your questions, talk about current events that happened over the weekend, and just give you a little bonus show. But the catch is, this will not be a free podcast. It will not be going into the free feed. We are working on a way to give a premium podcast. So we are going to, we have a lot of great people who donate to us, and, we have been remiss in giving them special favors. Prima Nocta was offered to all of them, but they did not want to make love to Dear Leader.
That didn't go over well?
No, they did
I can't believe that.
They did not want to be cuckolded, and their wives did not want the touch of Dear Leader.
The generous and thorough embrace.
Some women did, but their husbands objected mightily, and then I was restrained by the police and removed from the property. So we're going to be adding some membership to the We Are Libertarians universe. So there will be some things that will not just be free and open. And that is because we want to grow. We want to buy more advertisements. If we were to advertise on the Thomas Wood Show or on Jason Stapleton's show or, to
Lions for Liberty
or other libertarian outlets, or if we advertised in non-libertarian outlets, we would get more listeners, and more listeners would mean more libertarians. And to do that, we need capital. Mm-hmm. We have 2 phases of growth in terms of equipment that we want to achieve. They're both an Amazon wish list. We're halfway through number 1. We're still about $500-$600 away from finishing that round that we need to finish out. There's probably anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 in that second round that we'd like to fill out to really get us to a point where the equipment is future proof and sounding even better than it does, and give us absolutely zero excuses in terms of capability, and to do more. And because our goal at one point in the future is to do this full time, to give you daily full content, and we are doing our best, as this is our hobby. But in the future, we would love to do this for you full time, but the market needs to demand it. Mm-hmm. And so to do that, we need to build a market, and so we don't want to do advertising. The extent of the advertising that we do on the show, I think, needs to be for other We Are Libertarians properties. Just little short promos for other podcasts, just so you know that we have at WeAreLibertarians.com several other shows that you can go and listen to if you like this brand of talk and comedy and politics, and to support other shows. But we don't want to, it's such a pain in the butt, and I don't think the market is there in terms of podcast advertising. I work for a major radio outlet, and the podcast is 10 times more downloaded than this one, and podcasts, that is a hard podcast to advertise.
People haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. That day's coming. It's just not here yet.
Yeah. And so I told Joe in 2013 when we started talking about monetizing the podcast and making it self-sustaining, I said, we're just not there yet. It'll be 2016, and it'll be when people just message us and start wanting to give us money. And we're kind of there, to be honest. I mean, we're kind of at a point where to do more, we need more equipment and we need more listeners, and we need your help to do that. So, if you want more content, then we need you to sign up and be a member. And so what you will get for those memberships, we've kind of privately talked that out. We're not ready to totally roll that out yet. I have to go in and build it. So it may take me anywhere from a day to a week.
I think the 24-hour webcam of the Dear Leader Poon Palace is...
If you're hairy, that's available. But there's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of nudity, and it's only me. In the old days, there would...
And as I learned today, you are known for the size of your box.
Thank you. Yes. Very mature.
Very mature, sorry.
You're making fun of my black cables in my box. What next? You're going to make fun of the size of my shoes?
Your memes.
My memes?
But you have a big board.
Thank you.
Much bigger than Rob Kendall's board.
Oh, his board is tiny.
Tiny board.
Tiny board.
Tiny board.
We're talking to Rob Kendall about maybe doing a new show. So yeah, the majority of what we're going to do is still free, but if you contribute $5, $10, $25, $50 a month, we're going to make sure that it's worth your while. We give you, I think, $25 a month worth of entertainment for free, in my opinion.
We hope.
The market seems to think that that's $1 a month, but and we want to make it easier. We want to make it easier for you to be a part of this community and be a part of what we're doing and being a part of our growth.
And the more time we commit to it, the better this is going to get.
Yeah.
And this allows us to commit more time to it, to change it from something where we do it as a get-together on Thursdays to something we now have a vision forward and a path we're going to reach. And so that will commit, it's like tonight. This is a commitment towards more content, better content, crossing the threshold from a gathering of well-informed libertarians from different perspectives to professional commentary and analysis going forward.
And it is solely because of the 20 to 40 people that have given over the last 6 months.
Completely.
And
can't thank you. I mean,
just flat out.
You guys can't thank them enough. And we are the house that they built.
Yeah. And so we want to thank you, and because you have rewarded us with your trust and with your ears and with your shares on Facebook and your reviews on iTunes and your dollars and
meme likes
and your meme likes. We want to give back, and we love doing this, and we're more surprised than anyone that many of you like it.
I mean, we hate our own opinions.
Right. I mean, my cat doesn't even like me. Like, I can't keep a girlfriend or a wife or a cat. Like, you just like me because I give you food, right? Yes. So that is the way forward. Joe's committed. Joe's going to be more involved. We love Joe. Jeremiah,
the 4-H Henry County legend, the man with the golden pipes.
Chloe is going to be Maya's trying to get in on the act here. She's messaging me. Chloe's now done with Miss America stuff, so she'll be around a lot more. So yeah, bright days ahead. If you want to contribute as a writer, then there's a submissions page. Check out We Are Libertarians. It's all there. I try to make it as user friendly as possible. But yeah. You have made this hobby worthwhile, and so, we're going to do more and make sure that we're growing libertarians and we're growing ourselves through this, and that we're growing you. So, just an update. There's going to be a premium, at least one premium show right now, and that will be Greg and I getting together on Monday nights and talking. There's going to be other premium shows. We're probably going to move the live show to a paid show and paid video. So if you want to see and hear the live podcast from Morty's Comedy Joint, you're going to have to go, or you're going to have to be a monthly donor. And we're just going to test this out and see how it works. So I think many of you, even if it's 2 people, then heck, that is $10 extra a month that we can throw towards advertising and
spreading liberty.
Yep. And it's so appreciated, and just we're grateful.
Yes, very humbled.
Yeah.
Humbled.
Well, I don't know about humbled.
In our millennial way.
Humbled or humble?
Humbled that anyone would, where I'm always humbled that anyone would give money.
Surprised and excited.
Yeah.
And you know what? What do you get for that donation? More of me.
Merry Christmas.
So that is the state of the union of We Are Libertarians as we move through 2016 and into the future. It is basically just more content.
Yeah.
And to fund the resources that more content takes, we're gonna roll out a subscriber model and not just beg for donations, but give you a little something extra for your donations in return.
Yep. Try to validate our idea.
Yep. So because we know you work jobs, probably jobs you don't like. Probably jobs that are not nearly as much fun as, I don't know...
listening to podcasts.
Sitting around all day and tearing up my shit.
There's some hatred towards Mittens today.
Mittens and I are not on good terms.
I'm gonna say, if this was a Facebook relationship, it would say it's complicated.
She's purring right now. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We're not going to charge for this giant commercial, but yeah, I'm getting contributions as we speak from Kirk French, Jason Doolittle, Alyssa Sagato, and many more of you. And we just thank you so much for that.
You're very wonderful.
You guys are the best, and I think we've done it. I don't think we need to do better next time. I think we've succeeded.
Are we not going to talk any of the news topics?
Oh, do you want to do a show now?
I don't care.
All right, let's do it. Let's pause.
Well, I mean, you were triggered.
Let's pause.
Uh-huh.
All right, and make a different episode. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it. You guys are just the best. And thank you again. I'm going to say thank you for the 800th time. Hi, this is Chris Spangle. Can you hear how good I sound? I sound great. And you know why? It's because listeners like you go to wearelibertarians.com/wishlist and you help us purchase new equipment. And then we take that equipment and we hook it all up and then we sound really good. And the only thing that can possibly go wrong is if I forget to hit record one more time. So, if you want us to help... Listen... Getting new equipment isn't going to make everything better. There's still going to be problems with people like me and talking into the microphone, but you can make us sound really good as we're messing up by going to wearelibertarians.com/wishlist and purchasing an item today. It helps us grow, it helps us do more, and it helps us make sound better. Make sound better? That doesn't even mean anything. Well, I'm still not giving up, and I hope you weren't either. So please, wearelibertarians.com/wishlist. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.